What's up guys, Eric here from Techisode TV, and in today's Techisode, we're taking a look at the top 8 cases for the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. Not only that, but I'm going to be giving away every single one of these cases, so stay tuned to the end of the video to learn how to enter the giveaway. If you see a case here that you want to just jump right to, I do have the video annotated, so just click the case you want to see, and you'll jump right to that part of the video. Those annotations stay there for the duration of the video, so you can just skip around throughout the whole video to see any case that you want to do side-by-side comparisons. A few common things to all of these cases. The buttons are all very tactile, the cutouts are also well placed and amply sized, they all offer at least a medium level of protection, and they all work with Samsung Pay and wireless charging, with the exception of one of the cases, but I'll mention that when I review that case. Lastly, I have Amazon affiliate links for all of these cases in the description, so if you see a case that you like and you want to help support the channel, you can buy it through the affiliate link below. Alright, let's get started. First up is the Spigen Neo Hybrid. This is a two-part case. It has a thermoplastic polyurethane inside and a polycarbonate outside. Polycarbonate is a very hard material. It doesn't really flex much at all, and you can hear it's just a very, very hard material. And then thermoplastic polyurethane is somewhere in the middle of silicone, which is a very squishy material, and polycarbonate, which is, I just showed you, is a very hard material. So you get some flex and squish, but it's not as squishy as a silicone case would be. So let's go ahead and pop my Galaxy S8 in here. As I'd mentioned earlier in the video, all the buttons on these cases are very tactile, and Spigen is just notorious for having very good tactility in their buttons. Everything is very clicky, very satisfying to press. That's why I can almost always recommend a Spigen case. Plenty of room on the back for getting to the fingerprint scanner. Camera has a amply wide cutout, and your flash and heart rate monitor also have enough room for you to get in there. And this bezel isn't going to interfere with the flash at all when you take pictures, so that is great. Again, the cutouts are great on all of these cases, so you don't have to worry about that. On the side here, you've got some Neo Hybrid branding, and on the back, you have some Spigen branding. As far as drop protection goes, I'd say you're good from a waist-high drop, no problem. Dropping from head height, maybe you're on a phone call and it slips out of your hand, I'd say you'd probably be good. I wouldn't make a habit of doing it. The bezel on the front is raised up a bit, so you do get some face-down protection there if you're putting it face down on a table or something like that, and that does kind of help for those somewhat larger drops. You do get that protection there. Moving on to the next case. Now this one's kind of a bonus case. I put it in the exact same class as the Spigen Neo Hybrid. And this is like pretty much the same case, but from a different company. This one's from VRS Design, and this one's called the High Pro Shield. Now this is also a two-part case. It has a thermoplastic polyurethane inner piece here, and then it has a polycarbonate bumper as well. I don't need to take it apart. You already saw how it all works there. Now this offers great protection as well. And this is another go-to case for me. I always get a Spigen Neo Hybrid when I get a new device, and I almost always get a High Pro Shield from VRS Design as well. Both of these cases, just the buttons are very tactile, very clicky. The cases offer a lot of protection, and they're also very slim. You may have noticed already when I put the Spigen on, very slim case. This one is also a very slim case, but you do get a lot of protection for the size of the case that you're putting on there. The cutouts on this one are pretty good as well. You have some High Pro Shield branding on the back. Your cutout here is perfect. You have no problem getting into your fingerprint sensor, to your camera, to your heart rate monitor, and your flash. Your flash isn't interfered with at all by the bezel over here. If you're trying to decide between the Spigen Neo Hybrid and the High Pro Shield from VRS Design, it really comes down to just style. Which one do you think looks better in your personal opinion? If you like the style of this one, get this one. If you like the style of this one, get this one. As far as protection goes, they offer the same amount of protection. I'd say the VRS Design case offers a tiny bit more protection. If you look at the bezel on this one, it's just a little bit bigger than the bezel on the Spigen Neo Hybrid. So if you want to get a tiny bit more protection, then this will be the way to go. Other than that, I'd say just go with whichever one you think looks better. Next up is a clear case. This one is also from VRS Design, and this is the crystal bumper case. Now, personally, I'm not a terribly big fan of clear cases. It's just not a big appeal to me, but I know a lot of the people that watch this channel are fans of clear cases, so I figured I'd include one here for you guys to check out. Now, the reason I have the VRS Design case here, again, it comes down to button tactility. If you're going to be having a case on there, you're going to be pushing the buttons all the time, especially the power button. You're going to be hitting that all the time, and you want to have a good feeling case. And I think a lot of times that should come kind of above the style. You want something that's going to feel good because you're going to be using it all the time, and eventually you're not going to care quite as much about the style as much as you do the buttons. If you get stiff buttons, that's just going to get annoying. Anyways, here is that clear case. Now, I haven't wiped down the phone, and I haven't wiped down the case, but if you do wipe it all down, it is a pretty clear back, so it is pretty nice. Now, you will get, it's sort of like a milky kind of haze to it, or I guess kind of a haze or kind of a smoky look into the case. I mean, you can kind of see it already here. You have the pure black, I guess, of the phone, and then you have it's almost like a kind of a smoked look to it, and that's just because it's you're looking through thermoplastic polyurethane. That's why it's like that. I don't know that I've seen a case where it's just as pure black as that through the case. I think that's going to happen with pretty much every case. The other thing to note here, I'd say that this is thermoplastic polyurethane. If you get a clear case, I highly, highly recommend a thermoplastic polyurethane base and a polycarbonate outer shell. That's another reason why the VRS Design case is the one I'm showing you right now, because this has that combo. The reason I suggest that combo is that with a thermoplastic polyurethane back, it's going to be less likely to get scratches than like a polycarbonate back. At least in my experience, I had a couple polycarbonate clear cases, and those scratched with keys in my pocket like it was nothing. It was like I was just cutting through butter. It was pretty bad. Now, not every polycarbonate case is going to be that bad, but in my personal experience, the thermoplastic polyurethane is just going to stand up a little better to wear and tear. So that is this case. Oh, cutouts, good. Almost forgot to show you guys that. The bezels on this do come up on the front a little bit. There is a bit of a lip there, so you get some good face down protection. You could lay it down on the table and not worry about it. And as far as drop goes, I'd rate this pretty much the same as the High Pro Shield. You do get a nice lip there, so waist-high drops, head height. Maybe you're on a phone call and you accidentally slips out of your hand. I wouldn't be too worried about that. The thing to remember with all these cases is because there's raised lip here and a raised lip there, it's going to be great to drop on a flat surface like tile or concrete or something like that. But as soon as you get into like asphalt where there's like chunks of asphalt sticking up, or just rocky ground in general, then a tiny pebble could just be sticking up and you could hit the middle of the screen. The case isn't going to help you with that. No case is going to. That's just something to be aware of. On the back, the cutout is ample as well. You can get to all these things no problem, and this does not interfere with your flash as far as I could tell. So if you want a clear case, this is a great bet. I should also mention with these cases, when you take them off, some people for some reason have a hard time taking some cases on and off. What I do is sometimes I'll just put my finger right back here and I'll just push into the corners and then just pop the case off like that. And when I put the case on, I always put the bottom in first and then I snap the corners in like that. It works every time, no matter what case I have from which manufacturer. That's always a great way to put cases in, and it works every time. Next up, we have the Spigen Wallet S case. So this is a pretty fantastic case. First thing I want to point out, because there's a little pamphlet in here, is this is a magnetic case. So there's a little clip here, and you can hear that snapping on. There's a magnet in this and a magnet in here. So because the magnet's on this side, they say that if you put credit cards in here, put them with a magnetic strip on this side to protect them from the magnets on the outside. So that's just something to be aware of. That's true with any case that uses a magnet. You want to make sure that your credit card stripe is not next to the magnet. So let me pull that out of there. So this case here has 3 different credit card pouches, as well as a little spot here you can put some cash or receipts or something like that. Now, what's great about this case, and the reason why the Spigen wallet case made it into the top 8, is because this is a full case here. This is a thermoplastic polyurethane case. It's a full-blown case that has a wallet piece attached to it. So you're going to get really good protection with this. Typically, before I'd gotten this case, I'd recommend something like this VRS case that VRS Design makes. And this is back when they were called Veris, before they rebranded. But this was a great case. I loved it. It was very, the clasp was very secure. And this is just a case that I've recommended a lot, but as you can see, you don't get as much protection. It's just this hard shell, and you don't get quite as much. And a lot of wallet cases are designed like this. Very few are designed like this, where you get a full case inside of the wallet, and it's hardly any larger than any of the other wallet cases I've seen either, so it's a fantastic thing. I'm going to go ahead and throw the phone in here and show you a few more things about this. This has a landscape viewing mode, kind of like a kickstand thing, so you just lift the back up like that, and then just lean it over like that, and you're good to go. And for some watching some YouTube, or you just want to leave it on your desk like that, and then that folds over to the back, so it's just unobstructed. So there's that. Now, here's something that people do tend to complain about sometimes with cases like this, where they do fold up like this. Your volume buttons are now covered over here, so if you want to change the volume, you have to like lift it up and change the volume and put it back down. That annoys some people, but I don't know that I've seen any cases that go the other way, so that's just something you'll have to deal with. As far as the cards go, I'm going to put some things in there so you guys can see what you can do there. So let's just pretend that this is a your ID, and you've got your credit card, and you got a bonus card. We'll go ahead and throw my Blockbuster card in there. And so there you go. You've got 3 different cards. They all fit in there nice and neat. Close it up. And that's what it looks like with 3 cards in. It hardly changes the size at all. You can put more than 1 card in each one of these. That's fine. That does fit. There's 3 in 1 right there. You can fit 3 in each one, and that will work. I don't recommend it though, because you're going to end up stretching these out. And then if there's a day that comes and you just want to put like 2 or 3 cards in, and you tilt it like this, they're just going to fall out. When you close the case up, you'll see that you do have this cutout here to take a phone call, so that's good. You can't answer phone calls through the case. It doesn't have any fancy stuff like that. You do have to open it, answer the call, and then you can close it up, and then you can take your call there. Obviously, your microphone is exposed as well for you to be able to take those calls. Cutouts are good too here. Buttons are very clicky, very tactile. Again, as I'd said before, Spigen is really good with getting tactile buttons on their cases. As far as drop protection, I'd say it's phenomenal. I'd say this is better than the Spigen Neo Hybrid case for sure, because you also get this clasp, and you get this side here, and you get basically a regular case on the inside too. So drop protection is going to be great on this. Head height, no problem. I wouldn't have any concerns with this. And even though this is a wallet case, they included a nice little lip here, so you could have this open and lay it face down on the table and not have to worry about it. They really thought this through when they designed this, and I really do like this case. On the back here, you have an ample cutout. It's almost like a 2-stage cutout. It's kind of hard to see here, but you have this like main big cutout, and then you have another smaller cutout there. So you can get to all of these things nice and easy, and your flash and all of that's not going to be interfered with, at least as far as I could tell. I almost forgot to mention, this is like a synthetic leather. It's a very soft material. It's not real leather by any means, but it does feel really nice. It is kind of a cushiony kind of feel to it. It's just a very, very soft material. Feels really good in the hand. So that's, in case you're wondering what the case is made out of, what it feels like, that's that. Now, while the Galaxy S8 is IP68 certified for water and dust resistance, I do recommend getting a waterproof case if you're going to be taking this thing into the ocean. If you're going to take it to a pool, at a resort or something like that, then fine, you can take your Galaxy S8 in there and it'll probably be fine. But if you're going to take it into the ocean and you're going to do some snorkeling or something like that, then I highly recommend a waterproof case. And the one I recommend is the Temden waterproof case, because it is 1, very inexpensive, 2, very durable in the sense of you're going to have good drop protection in this, and 3, it comes with a ton of neat accessories. So I'm going to put the phone in here, and then I'll pull out the accessories. So to put the S8 in the case, you just put the front in first and press it in. And then you put the back on. And there's kind of like a rubber piece that grabs around the top. And you just go all the way around the outsides. And you are good to go. So there's that. The case is on. And you're ready to start filming underwater, taking pictures underwater. Now, the buttons on this are not the greatest. You really do kind of have to press these in to get them to click. And that's not a terribly big issue, because this is a case that I recommend that you put on when you go to the beach to go into the water and you're going to do some some snorkeling or something like that, then you put this case on. But this is not the case you're just going to keep on your phone at all times. This is just specifically for snorkeling, doing underwater video and photo. In case you're wondering, the fingerprint sensor on the back does still work. There you go, I just unlocked my phone. It does have a protective film over it. Obviously this is a waterproof case, and that film is somehow done in such a way that you do still get access to your fingerprint reader. Camera obviously still works through here, and you got a flash too. It's separated through this little divider thing. The screen, the touch screen, is obviously very tactile as well. Pressing the home button, all of that stuff works just fine. Looking at the bottom of the case, you can see here that you get these flaps for headphones and for your USB Type-C connector as well. You just pull that flap off and you get access there. And then when you're going to go back in the water, you can just close this stuff back up. Now this is for all of your accessories here. So let me grab those and show you what you got. First up is just a basic kind of lanyard type thing. So you just stick this in there, and then it's just a wrist strap. And so you just put on your wrists, and then this will be connected in there. So if you're, taking photos underwater, doing some video, filming some fish, you can actually let go of the phone, and it's just going to stay on your wrist, and it's not going to go anywhere. So that's one thing. But if you want to take it even further, you can grab the other accessory, which is a flotation attachment. This thing is awesome. So basically, you just feed that through, and then you put this around your wrist if you want. And so when you're going swimming, you're like way out in the ocean, you don't want this thing to sink to the bottom, you can use this instead, and you don't even have to have it around your wrist anymore. You can just have it attached, and if you drop your phone or if it falls off the boat or something like that, then this is going to keep it up on the surface of the water so you don't lose your phone. So that's a neat accessory. And then the third, no, actually there's 4 things that they give you. So the third thing they give you is this here. This is a watertight, waterproof connector. So if you have waterproof headphones, you can actually plug this piece in here, and this creates a watertight seal on the inside here, and then you plug your waterproof headphones into here, and now you can go snorkeling with music. So that's pretty cool. And again, all of this stuff is included, and this thing is wicked inexpensive. I'll have a link in the description to all of these cases if you wanted to get one from Amazon, and they're all relatively inexpensive. So that's an neat attachment. And the last thing they give you, not terribly exciting, but it is a little kickstand that you can slap on here. You can just put it on the back, and then this piece will pop out, and then you can use it as a little kickstand like that. Right, so then you can stand your device up, and you could do some viewing of the videos that you just filmed with all the fish or something like that. I almost forgot, the call quality on this is actually really good. I couldn't tell that I had a case on at all, and my wife on the other line of the phone, she could hear me perfectly fine. I didn't sound muffled at all on this, so if you're going to make some calls on this, no problem, you can hear it perfectly fine. The speaker as well sounds perfectly fine. I didn't notice any significant degradation in sound quality at all. It's still got amply loud. So I'd say that this case overall is really good. The only problem with it was, as I said earlier, the buttons aren't that tactile. But again, this is not a case you're going to keep on your phone every day. This is just a case you're going to use when you go snorkeling and you want to take some underwater photos. One more thing, if you do get this case and you're going to be taking it off, it helps to kind of press the front out a little bit. And then once you get the back off, you just tap it down a few times and then it pops right out. Next up, we have the Rhino Shield Crash Guard. This case is pretty awesome. As you can tell from the beginning, this has no middle piece at all. It is just a bumper, and that is awesome, especially for a phone like the Galaxy S8. It's such a beautifully designed phone that you really get to showcase the design of the phone with this case and get a lot of protection. So much protection that the company says that you can drop this from 11 feet and the phone will still be fine. 11 feet, that's taller than a basketball hoop, for some perspective there. Now, obviously, at an 11-foot drop, that's going to be fine for a drop on its side, or top, or a corner, or maybe even on the face if it's on a flat surface, like a gymnasium or something, or the back. But if you're going to drop it on like a rocky surface or something like that, Anywhere the case isn't touching is obviously exposed, so if a rock comes in and hits it here, you're going to break the glass on the back, and if it comes and hits the front, it's going to break the glass in the front. That's true with every case, but the difference here is that it'll also happen on the back. So you got to be mindful of that. While it's awesome to see the full back of your Galaxy S8, you do also run that risk of dropping it on a rock and shattering the glass on the back. So as far as drop protection, yeah, I'd say this thing's pretty solid. Head height, no problem. The bumpers on this are just very thick. It feels very, very sturdy. I feel very confident holding this in my hand. Dropping it, I really wouldn't be that concerned about it at all. My only complaint with this are the buttons. They're not quite as tactile as I would hope. You do got to kind of push a little harder to get them to click in. I mean, they obviously all still work, but the clickiness of these is just not where I would hope. It's definitely not up to par with the rest of these cases I've been showing you. The clickiness of these other buttons are just phenomenal. So this one just kind of stands out as just being kind of not that great. But if you want a very unique case in the sense that you can see the whole back of your phone and you don't want a clear case, you want to actually be able to see the whole back with no obstruction at all, this is the only case that's going to do that. And to get this much protection too, if you want the most protection in the really the smallest case, even smaller than these, then this is going to be the one for you to get. What's nice here too is on the back bezel is actually raised up above the glass just slightly, but it is just above the glass. So if you drop it on the back on like a pipe or something like that, it's going to hit the bezel first before it hits the glass. Now with a curved screen on the front, this is a bit of a concern, and this is true with any case for the Galaxy S8 or any Samsung smartphone that has curved glass on the front. The bezels can't come up past the curve, past the front of the glass, because if it did, you wouldn't have access to the edges. The edge panels, you'd start to lose functionality of the device. So that's just something to be mindful of with all Galaxy S8 cases. You drop it on a pipe or something like that, it's going to hit the glass first. The cutouts on this one are pretty good. The lip on the front is really good. Face down, no problem. I don't care really what height I drop this from. I'm pretty confident in it. Waist height, head height, no problem. Tossed up in the air as long as it doesn't go higher than a basketball hoop. then you're good to go. Next up, we have probably one of the most fun cases here. This is a VRS Design Damned Glide. There's some branding right there. And here's the front here. This is a two-part case. The inside is a thermoplastic polyurethane type thing, and then the outside is a polycarbonate kind of shell there. Now, what's so fun about this is that this is a wallet case that slides out, but as you can see there, it's assisted. Inside here, there's a few little arm things, and as you push it up to here, it snaps past a point and then pushes it further the other way, and then same going the other way. It just kind of snaps it one way and then snaps it back the other way. So it's just this assisted opening and assisted closing. It just feels so satisfying, and I find myself, whenever I use this case, I'm just constantly doing this just because it's kind of clicking a pen. I don't know, it just gets addicting to do. So this is probably one of my favorite wallet cases. If you don't want a folio type wallet case, this is my favorite because of just how cool this little folding sliding mechanism is. So in this back plate here, you can fit 3 cards, but that's it. You're not going to be able to fit anything more than that, because if you try to put more than 3 cards, it's not going to close. It's just not going to close at all. If you want to put cash in here, too bad. You can't put any cash in here. I tried folding it a bunch of different ways, and it was just really hard to get it in there. It's just not worth it. So this is 3 cards max. You put your ID in it or something like that. I call this kind of like the gym goer's case. You're going to go to the gym and you don't want to bring your wallet. You want to leave your wallet in your car. You don't want to leave it in a locker. You're worried about people stealing stuff, something like that. You put in, maybe your license and your gym ID and a credit card. Maybe you want to, get something from a vending machine or something while you're there. So you just put those 3 things in there, close it up, and you just take this with you into the gym. You're going to get good drop protection on all sides. The bezel on this is pretty formidable. So, face down on the table is perfectly fine. Drop protection on the back is really good because it's so thick, because you've got the credit cards in there. And of course, the buttons are also very tactile on this as well. The cutout on the back is ample for taking pictures. Nothing's obstructed here. You can get in there to hit the fingerprint sensor, no problem. Cutouts on the bottom are good as well. There are a couple other things you should know about this case. When you do put 3 cards in the back, you may have some issues using Samsung Pay. You may also have some issues using a wireless charger, because for me it worked sometimes but not every time. So that's just something to be aware of. Also, never take this case apart. I did that once and it was very difficult to get these little arms back in where they were supposed to be. So you don't need to take it apart to put the phone in. You saw me do that. You don't need to take it apart to take the phone out. You can see me do that here. So just don't do that. Next up, we have the most rugged case that also has the longest name of any case I've ever seen. It is the U-Maker Heavy Duty Protection Kickstand Clip Holster Shockproof Case Cover. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but if you look it up on Amazon, that's the name of this thing. And there's a couple variations of it, but that's, when you look up like the name of this, that's what it is. And I'm assuming U-Maker, they only make this one case, so you can just call it the U-Maker case. But this is a fantastic case for anyone who does any sort of construction work where they need just a really rugged case and they want that clip too. So the clip here, it's you know, really sturdy and it's hard to click it into different places, which is a good thing. And then you get your your clip piece there. So I'm going to go ahead and move this to the side. Now this is a two-part case because it does cover the front of the device as well. To take this apart, you need to get your finger into this little groove here and just kind of pull to separate that groove. And then it takes a bit of practice to get this out, but when you do, that's what it looks like. You have your two pieces there. Now this is a very hard polycarbonate piece here, and this is like a combination of thermoplastic polyurethane and polycarbonate. So this piece, this is polycarbonate in here. This is like a thermoplastic polyurethane here. This piece in here feels like thermoplastic polyurethane. So it's just an interesting kind of combination to make this thing really rugged. This material in here is very soft. So I'm not too concerned about this scratching up the back of the device. Back on the back, you have these little rubber feet. So if this does fall on the back, these little rubber feet hit first. So that's kind of nice. I'm going to go ahead and toss the phone in now. So to put the phone in, you actually put the phone into the front plate first. So we're going to go ahead and just slide this in like that. And then you're going to take this and slide this into the full case there. And I'm going to use the same approach I do on all of my cases. Put the bottom in first and then snap the top in. And there you go. So it goes in, oh, hey camera. So it goes in pretty quick, pretty easy. And there you have ample space in here to get to your fingerprint sensor, camera, flash, and heart rate sensor as well. No problem getting to those. On the bottom, you can see that you do have two little flaps that cover your ports. So that's good. Your microphone and speaker are completely exposed. So this isn't like a waterproof case like the tendon case that I showed you earlier, but this does give you a lot of protection. And I have taken my phone underwater at a river with just this case on, and it was perfectly fine. So again, this is for if you just want the most protection you can possibly get out of a case and still have very tactile, great to use buttons, then this is the way to go. This is just an absolutely fantastic case. And as a bonus, on top of all of that ruggedness, on the back here, if you pull this tab out, this whole piece slides out, and not only can you stand the phone up in landscape for watching a video, but you can also stand it up in portrait. So that is a pretty sweet feature. I don't see too many cases where they give you both landscape and portrait functionality in a built-in kickstand without having to sacrifice bulk, because this is already a bulky case. Obviously it's for a construction worker or something like that where you want the most protection, and so it just seems to make sense to just include this. If the case is already going to be that big, why not include a nice little piece like that? Just to give you guys more of a close-up on the front of the case, you can see here that there's just these little cutouts, and it just covers as much as they possibly can of the front of the device. I mean, even the whole bottom. If I turn the screen on here, you can see pretty much the entire bottom bezel is covered here. The bezel of the device is covered by this. So this is really, really good protection. Feels really good in the hand. And what's nice about this is I've used some cases where when you put them up to your ear, the top ridge is just really irritating, and it just kind of hurts. It's hard and awkward. This one, even though it comes up and is ridged, feels perfectly fine. It's perfectly comfortable. That's the case with all these cases. Even the tendon case was very, very comfortable to use when making a phone call. One more thing before we move on to the next case. Obviously, you know that you can, put it in the clip this way, but if for some reason you wanted to flip it around and put it in that way, that's perfectly fine. I don't really know why you'd want to do that, but I know some people were curious about that on different cases that I'd reviewed, so I figured I'd just tell you right here in the video. Yes, you can flip it around any way you want, and that works perfectly fine. All right, we've made it to the last case. This is the VRS Design Thor case, also called the hard drop case, as you can see by the inscribing here. Now, this is a case that I recommend for anyone who wants a bit more protection than the Spigen Neo Hybrid or the VRS Design High Pro Shield that I showed you earlier, but you still don't want it to be that much bigger. So this is going to offer a little bit better protection. It's just a little bit thicker than these two cases here, and you get a little bit thicker bezel as well, so you're going to have a little bit better protection. So waist drop, no problem. Head drop, no problem. Dropping this from head height, I think these bezels are thick enough that you're not going to have any issues. It's a little heftier. You can kind of feel it a bit in the weight, but the buttons are, super tactile, just as with all the other cases, so that's a fantastic thing. Cutouts are great on the bottom, on the back as well. Cutouts are fantastic. You have no problem reaching anything in there. And in case you're wondering, this is also a two-part case, but it's a bit of a different two-part. So this is the thermoplastic polyurethane, and it runs through the entire body of the case. Basically what you have is a thermoplastic polyurethane case and a hard shell that only goes from here to here and then across. So it doesn't actually cover the corners at all. It's just this middle chunk. And I think honestly this is more of an aesthetics thing than a protection thing. Personally, that's just how I feel about this. The added protection is really just in the thickness of the case and the cushion that you get there. And this is just kind of part of that thickness. Now that you've seen all the cases, you're probably wondering how you can score one for yourself. To enter the giveaway, just follow me on Twitter at TechEpisodeTV. After every 10,000 views this video gets, I'll pick a case at random to give away and post about it on Twitter. Just retweet that tweet to enter. Oh, and the giveaway is global, so anyone can enter. That's it for this tech episode. I'll see you guys in the next one.